Hi, this is Sasha Carrion, and you're watching The Success Mindset. My guest today is V, otherwise known as Paleo Boss Lady. Hi V, how are you?
Hi Sasha, how are you?
I'm doing well, good having you here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Now, the thing about V is that I feel that she is a walking and talking miracle. V, tell us a little bit about why I'm saying that.
Well, I'm 52 years old, and when I was 23, I was diagnosed with MS. And by the time I was 37, I became legally disabled from the effects of multiple sclerosis, which resulted in bilateral loss of both of my hands, trouble swallowing. I had full-time care, and I basically was unable to be alone and or care for myself. And it was around 2011 when I met you that I had decided to take some drastic measures and try and take control of my life. And those measures resulted in I kick secondary progressive MS to the curb every day. July resulted in 2 years that I live alone and independently, and I've done that all through consciously living using food, movement, and mindfulness. So I've basically healed myself from a disabling disease, and I think I'm a miracle too.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about what the doctors had originally said was going to happen.
Well, it was really interesting. When I was first diagnosed at 23, they, at that time, really planted the seed that this disease progresses and the future was not going to be bright. I was young at that time and scared, but thought, okay, I can deal with this. But MS is pretty devastating, and it was fighting a battle that I was really losing. And by the time 2006 came about, they pretty much had told me to prepare for institutionalization, and I had full-time help at that point because my symptoms and my disease was getting worse and worse in the sense that something would happen and I didn't have any time to heal, and it could be blindness. I would wake up and have no vision, and I'd be battling that for a week or two and then trying to heal, and then something else would come where I couldn't lift my leg or couldn't swallow, and it just kept compounding, and the doctors just basically said, hang on, this is going nowhere good. And the only thing they offered me was medication to calm my nerves, nothing to treat my disease.
And even with all of those things happening, one bad scenario appearing after the next, you still fought this and won. Tell us a little bit about what it was, the mindset that it took in order for you to achieve what you've achieved.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Initially, it was I was driven by fear. I was afraid, and I had to realize that a life driven by fear wasn't going to produce the right outcome. So I had to work really hard to change my mindset to be motivated by a higher purpose. So I had to identify my higher purpose, and then I had to figure out a roadmap to get it. And the thing that I identified as a higher purpose was that I needed to live a conscious life. And the first step in that really was I had to look at my life and what was toxic. And what I found was not only things that I was putting in my body, food, I smoked cigarettes, I drank alcohol, some of the people I associated with were toxic, all of these things. So I had to retreat and say, okay, my higher purpose is I want to rid myself of toxic living and see if that produces a platform where I can begin to really heal from MS. Little did I know at that time that getting rid of toxins was what was going to heal me from MS. I thought it would give me the ground to stand on because I thought you healed from disease through traditional healthcare. And what happened is I actually came to see you first because I was trying to quit smoking, and so many people told me that you were the person to go to and that hypnosis would really help. And that gave me, I wasn't really confident at first because I had tried to quit smoking so many years and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Even though I had quit for maybe 6 months, a year, I always went back. My father smoked 5 packs a day and my mother smoked 4 packs a day. So I was raised in a house where this was the norm. And working with you was the first step because I successfully overcame this with the help of you, that that was the first step to let me know, okay, now I can take one other step. And the next step was I gave up gluten after that. And being Italian, 100% Italian, giving up gluten is a big deal, you know, because we eat pasta 3 days a week and then pizza on Friday. So it's like gluten, 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 gluten. But it was just little baby steps. So what happened was I had to first realize that fear is not a good motivator. What would be a good motivator, and for me it was identifying higher purpose, and then what would be the steps that would lead me to my higher purpose. And then for me it was I had to get rid of toxicity, whether it was chemicals or people, environment, all of it.
And let's talk about how bad it was, because one of the things that I remember from first meeting V was that her hands were like this. And I remember that even when considering making her appointment, it was a big issue as to how she was going to even arrive to her appointment. So imagine that something that you and I take for granted, such as getting in our car, going, getting out the door, typing, even basic things, were a feat for you.
It's true. Bilateral loss of both of your hands is the highest form of disability a human being can have. And that was my disability. And even simple things, picking up a cup, bringing something to a fork to mouth, all of those things are, I can do them now, but at that time they were pretty much a challenge for me. So my hands and my ability to self-care were reserved exclusively for feeding myself and dressing myself. So beyond that, I didn't really have a lot of use of my hands at all, and I had to depend on other people to help me. I owned a car, but I couldn't drive it, so other people would drive me. I had food delivered to me. I would have people sometimes help dress me. I had people come to my house and do my hair. I couldn't do my own hair.
Your situation was severe.
Yes. I was almost unable to care for myself because of the loss of both of my hands. And what also was happening at the same time is I was losing the ability to swallow, which for people that have MS, oftentimes that's what kills us, is we choke. And so it was grave to the point that I couldn't use my hands, and I was choking almost every day. And I was very afraid. I was very afraid. So by the time I got to you, I was at my worst. You saw me at my absolute worst. And then today, you're seeing me at my absolute best. Even before MS, I wasn't even as healthy as I am right now, and I'm 52, and that was like 23. I was not as healthy as I am.
You have completely turned around your life. I still remember the day that I, by chance, ran into you at Whole Foods. You were driving, and I was so awestruck by the sight of you driving, because I remembered the person that I had met years back.
Well, I really appreciate that. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm awestruck that my life has turned out this way. I really never would have imagined that I mean, history has shown that secondary progressive MS is not a disease that you overcome. And the fact that this is my life and that I am a miracle, as you even believe, is every day I wake up and I just thank my higher power that I've had the opportunity to have this outcome, and also to be able to now use this to help other people to question their status quo, to identify their higher purpose. Because really, that is what motivated me, was I needed to stop my fear-driven life and to identify my higher purpose, and then figure out a way to get to that higher purpose. And that is what changed it for me, from being a victim to a miracle.
Speaking of which, one of the things that you've been doing now is really focusing on showing people the tools that they can use to empower themselves in living healthy lives. Let's talk about that.
That's the most exciting thing for me. I'm really grateful that I was able to go back and get a post-secondary education in community psychology. And what I did was, I not only have studied how to go out in the community and build a movement, but I focused on making it culturally relevant to others and also accessible. Because one of the things that happens, at least in the United States and in a lot of countries regarding healthcare, is it's not really accessible to everyone, sadly. And that was one of the most frustrating things for me personally, was that even though, at the time I had resources to be able to have some things accessible to me, was becoming aware that that wasn't the way it was for my brothers and sisters in the universe. So I decided that the best way that I could really help people was to learn how to make my message like culturally relevant and accessible. And that has been my greatest joy, second to healing and being a mom, is that I was able to dedicate time and now live 100% dedicating myself to the community and teaching them how to question their status quo and offering support that maybe reflects their culture so that they can see how they can achieve these things. I'm 100% Italian, so I tend to have my cultural things that I like, and I really needed to learn about other cultures. And I think for me, that is what makes my message really something that resonates with people, is that I really work hard to make it culturally relevant and accessible to all ages and everyone that's out there, because that was what was most important to me, was that equal and fair treatment and accessibility for everyone is my joy in life and what I do now.
And you do it well.
Thank you so much.
You do it well. And let's talk about your work as Paleo Boss Lady.
Yeah, Paleo Boss Lady is really interesting, because when you're Italian and you tell your Italian family you're no longer eating pasta, peppers, tomatoes, or eggplants, well, you might as well just be excommunicated from the Catholic background of this family, because that's what we eat all the time. So I had to retreat, and because I identify so strongly with my culture, and then giving up those foods, I was just so afraid that I was going to lose my own identity, that I went to the internet. And because I'm Italian and I'm from Philadelphia and I was born under the sign of Taurus, I'm a boss naturally. I come by it naturally. And what happened is what I was saying apparently resonated so much with the community that today I have over 50,000 people on social media that follow me, and 1 million people a week that read my stuff. And it's now become a huge platform that, next week, a week from today, I'm actually being flown to Ecuador for an entire week to learn about sustainable farming. Yeah. So it's become a really big movement. I'm part of a true movement in the world, and I am also really proud that I co-wrote an international teaching program with Dr. Terry Walls, who developed an eating protocol that I follow called the Walls Protocol. And this protocol is healing people all over the world, and I co-wrote this with her, and we will have 5 continents represented studying the food protocol that I follow, which basically leads me to believe that I am in the middle of a worldwide movement to change the way we see healthcare, which I have goosebumps all over my body right now. It makes me really proud, because I've not only helped myself, but I really am involved in something that's going to change the world, and that gives me great joy. I'm sorry, sometimes I cry. I get so proud of everything that is happening.
You of all people have every reason to. You know what, I always tell people, you are such an inspiring person. I always tell people that you are a great example of the idea that the diagnosis is not the prognosis, because you took control, and just against the odds, you are here.
And I have to tell you that it really has been, this is going to sound really strange, but having MS has been a great gift to me. And I'll tell you why. I am what we would call a type A overachiever. And I am also someone who struggles to, I don't really go to the movies, because that would involve sitting down quietly and paying attention for more than 30 seconds. And I struggle with things like that. And if I would have gone through my entire life living with that mindset, I never would have recognized seasons or birds or flowers, or I never would have smelled the roses. And because I have MS, you can bet that I know, if a butterfly flies by me, I stop.
No.
And I appreciate it. So I feel like, although MS has been a real challenge and has scared me and done horrific things to me in my life, it really has been a great gift, because my chemical makeup I wasn't really born with just sort of gratitude, and MS has really given me gratitude. So I am grateful in the strangest of ways. I mean, obviously it would be nice not to have it, but it has given me some really amazing gifts, and that can't be denied. I can't discount those gifts. I just can't.
V, you've told us about your amazing story. Now, what would you say have been the keys to your success?
Well, I would say it's probably three things. One is, we talked earlier about identifying higher purpose. I think identifying higher purpose is the ultimate key. The second thing is you have to be willing to listen to your gut no matter what anybody else tells you. So you have to have a strong self-belief, because our gut is always talking to us. And a lot of times we brush it aside, or we suppress it because it's so much easier to live on sort of the autopilot life. You know, get up, go to work, or get the kids off to school, whatever your day is. I don't know what that is for everyone. And the third thing is to question the status quo. To say, why am I doing this? Does this resonate with me? Or am I doing it just because culturally this is the way my family did it, because this is what my doctor told me to do, because everyone goes to school in my neighborhood at this place, or because everyone drives this car? Like, what is it? Why are you doing what you're doing? So for me, it's really those three things, you know, higher purpose, listening to myself and my gut, and then also questioning my status quo, so that doing those things, every step I take, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm totally confident that it's the right thing for me. And even if I learn maybe that, oh, well, I thought that was the right thing for me, but that isn't, I don't feel so bad, because I went in knowing and listening and prepared. And just then the autopilot of life goes away, and I'm in control of, and maybe that is part of it, you know, controlling your life rather than having the outside world dictate how things operate.
Instead of allowing the outside world control you.
Yeah, which for a lot of us, I mean, it just happens, you know, without us even knowing it. I mean, we're a consumer-driven nation, right, or world. So we have so many influences that we're not even aware of, that really you just have to sort of step back and just open your eyes. Like, okay, what am I saying? What does this mean to me? And how does it resonate with me? I call it playing chess. I play chess with myself all day. I really do. Okay, well, if I do that, what does that mean? What is going to happen? What's the end result going to be? Do I like the way that looks? And if I don't, it's like, well, can I change the strategy a little bit? And if it looks like I can't figure it out to deliver the outcome I want, then I probably won't do it.
It sounds like you're very much in tune with you have that awareness. You're in tune with yourself and with your higher self, to where you're able to just get an idea, get a feeling, and just go with it these days.
Well, it's true, and I have to tell you, I think there are two things that really sort of help me to get in touch with in tune with my body and higher self. One is yoga, because yoga helped me become body aware, and also really helped me to quiet my mind. But I have to say, the other thing that really taught me about sort of higher purpose, and that there's other layers to me beyond what I see on the surface and what is consciously accessible to me. And that would be the work that I did with you, because we were tapping my subconscious.
That's right.
And realizing that there was something in my subconscious that was playing this message, that was the only message I could hear. And we got in there and reprogrammed my subconscious to deliver a new message. And that was like a nirvana moment for me, because it's like, wow. So I can not only control my conscious stuff, but there's stuff going on all the way back here that I didn't even know, that with focus, directed work, and help, because community is the ground on which I stand, I was able to recreate subconscious and conscious efforts, which elevated me to a miracle. And it involved a lot of being open and accessible, because I think the first time I met you, I was like, I don't even know what exactly hypnosis is. I don't know how this works. I don't even know what's going to happen, other than everyone told me.
You can tell she's very honest.
I didn't. I was just like, everyone told me, you need to see her. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And realizing what was happening, and and that there was this part of me, and that there was a message that was happening in my person that I was not aware of, allowed me to open up my entire person to be like, there's all kinds of messages out there that I need to get conscious. And that was a real nirvana moment, and it took me until my 40s to learn that. But the reality is real change happens through awareness.
Yes, without a doubt.
And I don't think we're born, maybe we're born aware of our bodies, because I remember my daughter first saw her hands and stuff like, wow, or touching grass for the first time. But I think as we get older, we're not really aware of our person in space, and culturally and consciously and subconsciously, and working to be able, with someone, to be able to tap those resources and become aware of them is truly enlightening and such a great tool of empowerment, because you can take that with you wherever you are and wherever you go, knowing how to tap into those resources. So, and change those narratives. That's what we did. We changed the narrative that was playing in my head for a long time. And that's super rewarding.
And I have to tell you that I feel absolutely privileged to have worked with you and to see what you have done. Because not only did you quit smoking, I mean, how long has it been since you quit smoking?
Wow, 5 or 6 years, I think.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
And so not only did you quit smoking, but you ran with it. I mean, you applied the notion of self-love, self-healing to every other aspect of your life. It was like a domino. The first domino went down, and next thing you know, it started causing all the other dominoes to tumble.
It's really amazing, and it's so true. I didn't realize that the journey was going to be like that, but as the dominoes are falling, it's really been so self-empowering that I'm really proud. I am really, really proud of myself.
And another thing that we have to mention is that V drove pretty far to do this interview. And this is a woman who it was tough for her to drive to her appointment, which was pretty much in the same neighborhood. And here you drove a good while.
I'm really excited about that. I still get nervous, but I really have no problems. I just get nervous because I'm still shocked that I can do this. And in March, I actually bought a new car, and I have a little red Fiat that I love.
Congratulations.
I know. And I drove all the way here. And actually, when I got here, I texted my daughter, because if I would have told her I was doing this, she probably would not have cheered me on. But when I told her, and then she was so proud of me. And I'm so proud of me because I not only did it, but I had I felt just like everybody else, like a normal person. Aww. I didn't even feel like I was someone who hadn't driven for years and now is driving again. That is elevating. Like I just wanted to run up here and be like, I think I kind of did. Like I drove here. So it's really quite wonderful. Because the first time we met, I was so afraid. And you lived really close to me then. Like most people could have even walked there, and I was afraid. I love taking the bus, and public transportation is great, but to have options is really wonderful.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Now, V, I have one more question, and that question is, why do we call you V?
Well, the greatest thing about life is you can kind of be whoever you want to be, and I didn't really love the name that my parents gave me. And in life, no one ever really, whenever anybody meets me, they never really say, oh, she's 5'7", dark hair. They always just describe me as an action. So I decided that I'm not a noun, I'm a verb. So V is short for verb.
I love it. I love it. Quite the personality, and a wonderful leader in the wellness world. A woman who doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. And she is an inspiration for us all. What is your website?
Paleo Boss Lady, and you can find me everywhere. It's PaleoBoss Lady.com.
Wonderful. So great having you here with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping start my journey to being a miracle, because you had such a huge hand. And we didn't know then where I was going, but we certainly know now. And it's just been an honor to be here and to have you have such a key role in my wellness, and I'm really grateful. Thank you very much.
Well, I feel very much privileged And whenever I watch your videos and I see everything that you post, I'm always so proud, and I always tell everybody about you.
Oh, thank you. Well, namaste.